Thank you very much for your time, and good morning to you.
Good morning, my brother. How are you?
I am well, and I hope you're doing well too.
God has been merciful.
How are you finding the new assignment?
It's challenging, but we know with God on our side, we are up to the task.
And I guess the challenge. Okay, so let me not put words in your mouth and say, where's the challenge coming from? What's the biggest challenge you think confronts your ministry?
Because it's a new ministry, we have what we call two twin problems. At the beginning of or the inception of every program, there are always challenges. Even assembling a staff to work is always a challenge. But so far, so good. And we believe we are on the right course. And we hope that we'll be able to impact young people positively across the country.
Great. And correct me if I'm wrong, one of the very first big initiatives that's been launched under your ministry is the Adwumawura program. Is that accurate?
That is very correct.
Okay. Explain to us exactly what this is supposed to do.
So in the run-up to the 2024 elections, we went around the whole country. We engaged many people, especially young people. One of the biggest challenges that confronts our country is the issue of unemployment and hopelessness. And in trying to address this challenge, we sought from the people what they felt was best. One of the key things we got from them was that the Ghanaian spirit is enterprising and they want jobs. They want sustainable and decent jobs. And so, in turning out policies that could change the narrative, we developed a program called Adwumawura, simply meaning owner business. And we know that traditionally, the Ghanaian is enterprising. The Ghanaian always wants to start his own business. The Ghanaian wants to work for himself and not to work for someone. And so we came up with a program that can support young people who want to venture into entrepreneurship. And that is how we bet the Adwumawura program.
So this is about producing entrepreneurs.
This is about supporting young people who want to become entrepreneurs. So eventually they become entrepreneurs. So we are going to put the data programs, give them the basic skills that they require to become successful entrepreneurs. And those who have ideas that require some amount of funding, we hope to be able to give them that funding. We also want to support them, register their businesses, and make sure all their documents are in order so they can access other facilities out there. We are also going to put them in touch with mentors who have gone through that same processes, established successful businesses that are doing well, so that when they hit difficult times, they will have a shoulder to lean on, somebody to walk them through the processes. Because life is made up of ups and downs. There are good days and there are bad days. A lot of businesses fail because, one, they lack the basic financial literacy. Sometimes in their difficult moments, all they need is words of encouragement and people who have been there before telling them that when I got here, when I got to this curve, this is how I navigated it. And so that is how this program is going to run. After the incubator program, we are not going to leave you on your own. We are going to put you in touch with people who are going to guide and coach you through the processes so that the business becomes successful. And government is going to follow that business so that we have an eye on where our investments are going to. Our vision and dream is that at the end of His Excellency's 4 years, at least we should have about between 3 to 5 unicorn companies out of this Adwumawura initiative.
I missed that. You said the target is how many businesses?
I'm saying that by the end of His Excellency's 4 years, we should have been able to train a minimum of 40,000 young people to start their own businesses. The average target is 10,000 a year. Mm-hmm. with a minimum job creation of 20,000 every year, minimum, meaning it can go all the way to 100,000 a year. But we only believe that every business plan should be able to employ one person and another. But when the 4 years is done, our vision is that at least between 3 to 5 unicorn companies should have emerged out of the Adwumawura.
A few terminologies you've used. One, you talk about incubation. Explain to us how this incubation works and how it fits into the whole idea of the Adwumawura program.
Okay, so in every space, in every entrepreneurship space, there is an ecosystem that line operating. So, for instance, you want to go into fashion designing, you are already a trained fashion designer. What we need to do for you is to put you through a certain program, and that is the incubation I am speaking to, where we give you all the necessary and basic trainings that can make you a successful fashion designer. So from financial literacy, how to brand, market access, how to assess the market, all that will make the business, and even how to manage your books and how to run the business day-to-day activities, customer relations, how to talk to people, how to even attract customers, and how to even brand your product so that people get to see what you are selling. So that is the incubation program that will put you through. And everybody who enrolls on that program or in the program will have to go through that. And then after you go through that program, then now we will look at your business proposal and see what startup tools you will need, what financial support you will need, and whether the business can be scaled up. And then that becomes the second phase of the program, and then we take you through. And so that is the incubation program we are talking about. And there are business development hubs across the country. World Bank has established some, private individuals have some, and even the NEIP also have some across. And so these people will be put through these hubs, and then this training will be given to them. And then once the training is done, then we graduate you to the next phase. And that is when we will look at, there are some businesses may not need big funding. Some may need big funding. Some may not even need funding at all. All they need is how they set up and then their startups. So based on your requirements, we will support you. Those that can be scaled up, we'll put them through what we call a presidential pitch. And then they will pitch their ideas, and then we will give them good funding. We are also in touch with the Venture Trust Fund to create what we call an Adwumawura Fund, so that businesses that have already been established but are managed by young people and at the inceptions of those businesses can also gain some form of funding from their trust to support them. What the ministry and the NEIP will be giving out will be grants. But if your ideas are big such that it can be scaled up and you need additional funding from what we have, then we will migrate you and help you get funding from other established venture trust funds. That one will come in a form of a concessionary loan to support the business scale up.
Interesting. So the incubation program is not, because the word that came to mind was justify your inclusion.
No, so the incubation program is after you have been selected.
Okay.
Based on the application you submit.
Okay.
So that is what the incubation program is, what is going to cover the 10,000.
Okay.
So that we give you all the skill sets you require to be able to start a successful business. Because most of it, that is all you need. Some people have their ideas, but they don't know how to conceptualize the ideas into reality.
Okay.
So that is what the incubation program will do for you. And then if you need funding, at that stage, once you are assessed, we can support you with funding. If you need capital equipment, we can support you with it. Based on your specific requirement, we will do the assessment based on the conversations we will have with you and then give you the requisite support you deserve.
What age groups are you dealing with?
Between the ages of 18 to 40. You know that per our laws, if you're not 18, you cannot legally own a business.
Okay. 18 to 40.
It should have been 35.
Okay.
Because the age bracket is between 15 to 35. Okay. But at 15, you can go through the incubation program, but legally speaking, you can only own a business through a third party. And so we are looking at 18 years to 40. And because in this country, the question we keep asking, who is the youth? And because of how our concept has been and our development has been, it will be very unfair to cut it at 35. So we've extended it to 40 so that we can cover many other young people who are also trying to start.
I see. Are you handling this directly, or there's an agency under you responsible for it?
The ministries themselves don't implement programs. Program implementations are done by agencies. We bring policy and we give direction. But if we are going to implement, then how are we going to do the monitoring and evaluation? And so the National Entrepreneurship and Innovation Program will be the implementing agency, and then the ministry will supervise and do the monitoring to make sure, and do the evaluation as well, to make sure that the program is run right, and then there is fairness and transparency.
When will the rollout start?
We started. Yesterday we put out the websites.
Okay.
So people can go online on the NEIP websites and then apply. And then at the district assemblies, forms are available for those who cannot apply online.
How much do you project this, the very first phase, will cost you?
We have an allocation of 100 million Ghana cedis to start with. And we hope to make judicious use of it.
100 million Ghana cedis?
Yes, please.
Okay. That's your starting point?
Yes, please. But we are still in talks with a lot of our donors. We will require more, because certainly to fund businesses, you require more. But, it's the beginning, and so we must start small and make sure we go through the teething problems of the beginning processes carefully so that we don't end up making mistakes.
Any type of business I have in mind, or there are particular types of business you are looking at?
Any business that can employ you and maybe one additional person. But the first thing is, any idea you have that can create or generate income and turn into a business is welcome.
And one of the things that every government walks in with is ideas that they believe will create entrepreneurs. There are many that have been begun, that have been started, that failed, or that never saw the light of day, or that didn't get the results that were anticipated. How much lessons have you learned from these ideas, at least within the 1992 Republican dispensation?
The good news is that we've consulted widely. And let's also say that it is okay to make mistakes at the inception of every program. But the good thing is that you must learn from those mistakes so they don't reoccur. And so because some programs have run, and let me also say that all the programs that have run, a lot of young businesses have turned out. Yesterday, when I watched the documentary of Kafui Addo, or if I'm getting the name right, the lady who owns Akosombo Catering.
Kafui
Addo. When years started, she was part of the selection process, and she made mention of that most of the businesses that got selected were still doing well and have moved on from being just startups to businesses that were doing well and employing people. And so in every dispensation, there are success stories. Not as many may have succeeded because of some of the duplicities and some of the mistakes. And what we seek to do with Adwumawura is that because we've had the benefit of speaking to all other CEOs who have run the YEA, the NEIP, and some other private sector innovating hubs. And we have a steering committee that comprises of almost all agencies that have something to do within that space. We are hoping to draw on the lessons and make sure that those mistakes are not repeated. So we are hoping that we will achieve a high success rate with this particular program.
Is NEIP ready? Because I think the last time there was a conversation about NEIP, virtually everybody there had been fired.
NEIP is ready. Not everybody has been fired. The temporal staffs who were there and were not being paid properly, were not going through. Because those who have not gone through the proper regularization were those who were asked to proceed on leave. They were not fired until we were able to regularize their issues. But the NEIP as an organization is very much ready.
Thank you. Thank you very much for speaking to us. We'll spend time and bring you in studio and talk about your bigger vision for the ministry. So we'll spend time and make sure he comes in studio. Thank you. Thank you for speaking to us. Mr. George Opare Addo is Minister for Youth Development, joining us on the line. And I hope I have asked your questions that bring some clarity to what you want to know about the Adwumawura program that has been put out. So basically, it's an incubation for what